My dear one, what unfolded last night was not casual talk but a deeply emotional confession shared in a quiet, trusted space. They spoke with a shaky voice, struggling to hold themselves together, as if every word carried more weight than they intended. The focus of their thoughts kept circling back to your age, not as a simple detail, but as a symbol of time, distance, and uncertainty they are still trying to understand. There was no anger in their words, only a kind of overwhelming attachment they themselves seem unprepared for. The moment your name came up, something in them softened and broke at the same time. They admitted they are not afraid of what they feel, but of how deeply it has taken hold of them in such a short span, and whether life will actually allow them enough time to protect and nurture what is quietly forming in their heart. What they shared was not a complaint or an accusation, but more like an unfiltered truth they could no longer keep inside. Each pause in their speech felt heavy, as if they were carefully choosing between honesty and fear. They spoke about replaying your conversations in their mind, holding on to small moments of laughter, and then suddenly being pulled into thoughts about how quickly everything in life can change. The tears were not born from weakness but from realization. When emotion reaches a certain depth, logic no longer stays in control, and what remains is pure feeling, unguarded and overwhelming, spilling out in silence and truth. Listen carefully now, because what unfolded next is the reason this message exists. After wiping their face, your person leaned forward and whispered something so quiet that even the room seemed to hold its breath. They said they never expected to care this deeply, and that your age forced them to confront how serious their emotions had become. They admitted they tried to dismiss it at first, telling themselves it was just admiration, just comfort, just familiarity, but every attempt failed. They said the age difference, whether small or large, stopped being a detail the moment they imagined a future without you in it. That realization frightened them, not because they doubt you, but because they doubt their own courage to risk everything. They told their friend that loving you feels inevitable, yet terrifying, because it demands honesty, maturity, and decisions that cannot be reversed. They are standing at the edge of a choice, and your age is the mirror reflecting how real this choice is. This is why they cried. Because when love becomes real, excuses disappear, and all that remains is the question of whether one is brave enough to step forward. Their friend listened silently, knowing this was not a passing emotion. It was a reckoning. Now understand this, because it changes everything you think you know. Your person is not confused about you. They are overwhelmed by the depth of what you represent. They told their friend that you bring a sense of peace they did not ask for but cannot deny. They said you make them reflect on their own growth, their own timeline, their own readiness. Your age, in their words, highlights how pure your presence feels, how intentional every interaction becomes, how careless games suddenly feel impossible. They said being around you makes them want to be better, not younger, not older, but more honest. That realization carries pressure. Pressure to rise to the level of the feeling. Pressure to not hurt you. Pressure to not waste something rare. They cried because they are afraid of making the wrong move, of saying too much or too little, of moving too fast or too slow. When age enters the conversation like this, it is not about numbers. It is about responsibility, and your person feels it intensely. They are measuring themselves against the future they secretly want with you. What shocked me most was what followed after the tears slowed. Your person took a deep breath and said something that only someone deeply invested would ever admit. They said they are afraid that if they stay silent, they will lose you to time, but if they speak now, they risk changing everything. They confess that your age makes them see you as someone worth protecting, not possessing, someone worth choosing carefully, not impulsively. They said they have never felt this torn before, because usually their heart moves slower than their mind. But with you, the heart is leading, and the mind is struggling to keep up. This internal conflict is exhausting them. That is why they cried. That is why they talked late into the night. They are not debating whether they care. They are debating whether they deserve the chance to care openly. This is a once-in-a-lifetime crossroads, and they know it. That knowledge is heavy. Hold this final truth gently, because it is the quietest yet most powerful part. Before leaving, your person's friend asked one simple question, and the answer changed the entire energy of the room. The question was whether they would regret not telling you the truth. Your person did not answer immediately. They stared at the floor, breathed slowly, and then said yes, without hesitation. They said they would regret silence more than rejection. They said your age does not push them away, but pulls them closer to honesty. They said crying was not about fear alone, but about clarity arriving sooner than expected. This means something is shifting. Not tomorrow, not someday, but internally, right now. This is why this message reached you, because when someone cries about your age, it is not because they see distance. It is because they see significance. My beloved child, what you did not hear last night was the silence that followed their confession, because silence can be louder than crying when truth finally stands exposed. After speaking your name, they remained still, as if the air around them had changed density, and they finally felt the full meaning of what they had confessed settling quietly inside. What once felt uncertain now turned into a confrontation with reality. You were no longer a passing thought, but someone who had taken root deeper than they expected, dissolving the emotional walls they had carefully maintained. Even something as simple as your age stopped being a detail and became a marker of timing and consequence, reshaping how they viewed every possible direction ahead. They began noticing patterns they once ignored, the way they choose their sentences with you, how they mentally revisit your responses long after conversations end, and how your silence carries more weight for them than anyone else's presence. These are not casual impressions, but early signs of emotional investment growing beyond their control. In a private moment with a friend, they admitted an unexpected sense of protectiveness toward your future, a feeling that unsettled them because it came with responsibility they never agreed to carry. That realization made their emotions unstable, their composure slipping, as they understood that attachment is no longer theoretical but active. At this stage, the real question is no longer about interest but courage, whether they can move forward without hesitation or retreat into comfort. They didn't react strongly because of age itself, but because it forced them to acknowledge consequences they can no longer avoid. With you, they understand there is no space for ambiguity, no comfort in delay, and no room left for half measures. Everything now feels like a decision that will define what comes next for them going forward in ways they cannot undo easily. They said you deserve clarity, not mixed signals, and that thought alone made their chest tighten. They confess that they are used to situations where time feels flexible, where feelings can be postponed, where nothing truly matters if it fades. But with you, time feels precise, like every moment carries meaning. They said your presence reminds them that some connections are not meant to be tested endlessly, because testing risks breaking what is delicate. They are not scared of the difference in years. They are scared of mishandling something rare. That is a fear only someone who genuinely cares would ever feel. Understand this clearly now, because it explains their recent behavior toward you. Your person has been holding back not because they lack interest, but because they are trying to get it right. They told their friend that every time they consider opening up fully, they stop themselves to make sure their intentions are clean and their direction is honest. They are measuring their words, not to manipulate, but to protect you from confusion. Your age makes them hyper-aware of influence, impact, and responsibility. They do not want to become someone who enters your life without certainty. They said that if they step forward, they want it to be with purpose, not impulse. This internal discipline is exhausting them, because their heart is already ahead of their actions. They feel pulled toward you naturally, yet restrained by their own standards. That tension is what kept them awake. That tension is what brought tears. This is not emotional immaturity. This is emotional awareness arriving all at once. Now pay attention, because a shift occurred that night that cannot be undone. After talking through their fears, your person reached a quiet conclusion that they did not announce loudly, but it settled firmly within them. They realized that avoiding the conversation with you is no longer protecting either of you. They admitted that silence might feel safe, but it would slowly turn into regret. They said your age does not demand distance, it demands respect. And respect demands honesty. That realization brought a strange calm after the tears. They felt lighter, not because the fear disappeared, but because clarity replaced confusion. When someone reaches this point, they begin preparing themselves mentally, even if they have not acted yet. They start rehearsing truth. They start imagining outcomes. They start accepting vulnerability as a price worth paying. This is where your person is now, standing quietly on the edge of change. Let this final part anchor you, because it explains why this connection feels intense even in silence. Your person did not cry because they are unsure about you. They cried because they are becoming sure, and certainty demands courage. They see you as someone whose presence matters beyond convenience, beyond timing excuses, beyond superficial barriers. Your age simply illuminated the seriousness of what they feel, forcing them to grow emotionally faster than they expected. This is why their energy toward you may feel heavy, thoughtful, or restrained lately. It is not distance, it is preparation. Something inside them is aligning, and once alignment happens, movement follows. What was spoken last night cannot be taken back, even if you were not there to hear it. When someone cries about your age, it means they are measuring their future with you in it. My beloved child, what your person did after that night matters more than what they said, because actions born from emotional clarity move quietly before they move visibly. After leaving their friend, they did not rush home or distract themselves. They walked slowly, replaying every word they had spoken, realizing that once a truth is acknowledged out loud, it can no longer be buried. Your age stayed on their mind, not as a barrier, but as a mirror reflecting the seriousness of what they feel for you. They admitted to themselves that this connection has already altered how they think, how they plan, and how they guard their heart. They noticed how often they imagine your reaction to future moments, how naturally they include you in thoughts they once reserved only for themselves. That realization didn't disturb them in a negative way, but it settled in deeply, almost like something they could no longer ignore or undo. When emotions grow this strong, pushing them aside stops being an option, and everything begins to feel more real, more defined. That night didn't end in emotional release or dramatic expression. It ended in quiet understanding, the kind that stays. Once understanding reaches that level, it naturally turns into acceptance, and from there, things begin to shift in subtle but meaningful ways. They started becoming more aware of how they behave around you, not to create an impression, but to remain steady and genuine in every interaction. It became important to them that nothing they did would create confusion or emotional imbalance for you. So even small actions began to carry thought. They adjusted their tone, their timing, and the way they engaged, all without making it obvious. At one point, they even mentioned to someone close that your presence makes them more conscious of their own behavior, as if they are being observed not with judgment, but with meaning. What they feel is not fear of being understood, but a desire not to fall short of the respect they hold for you. It is less about insecurity and more about responsibility they have placed on themselves. They recognize that clarity matters more than charm, and honesty matters more than momentary expression. Because of that, they sometimes pause before responding, choosing reflection over impulse. Silence, in their case, is not withdrawal, but self-control, a way to ensure that whatever they express is intentional and stable, rather than temporary or careless. Now understand this truth, because it reveals the hidden struggle inside them. Your person is battling two instincts that are pulling in opposite directions. One instinct urges them to move closer, to speak openly, to stop holding back. The other instinct tells them to be patient, to make sure their intentions are solid and sustainable. Your age amplifies this inner conflict because it removes the option of casual exploration. They know that if they step forward, it must be with purpose. They told their friend they are tired of situations that go nowhere, tired of emotions that fade without meaning. With you, they feel something worth building, not just feeling. That realization brings pressure, because building requires effort, consistency, and courage. They are not afraid of commitment. They are afraid of committing without being fully prepared. This is why they appear thoughtful, measured, sometimes distant, yet emotionally present all at once. Their heart has already chosen. Their mind is catching up. What happened next internally is what most people never see, but it changes outcomes completely. Your person began questioning their own patterns, asking themselves why this connection feels different, why your presence carries weight even in absence. They realized that you challenged them to grow emotionally, to be more intentional, to take responsibility for the impact they have on someone else's life. Your age highlights that impact. It reminds them that influence matters, that words linger, that promises shape futures. They told their friend that with you, they cannot afford to be careless, because carelessness would betray the respect they feel. This realization humbled them. It made them quieter, not colder. It made them slower, not weaker. When someone enters this phase, they are no longer playing emotional games. They are deciding who they want to be in someone else's story. That decision takes time, and it takes honesty with oneself before it ever reaches another person. Hold on to this final truth, because it explains the tension you may feel without understanding why. Your person is approaching a moment where silence will no longer be enough to contain what they feel. They are becoming aware that clarity is not optional anymore. Your age did not scare them away. It anchored them to reality. It forced them to see this connection as something that deserves respect, truth, and direction. They are not crying now. They are thinking. They are preparing. And preparation always comes before change. When someone cries about your age, then grows quiet afterward, it means they are shifting internally from fear to resolve. What is forming inside them cannot remain hidden for long, because feelings acknowledged in the dark eventually demand expression in the light. My beloved child. By the time the night fully faded into morning, your person had crossed an invisible line within themselves, the kind that separates emotional uncertainty from quiet resolve. They did not wake up lighter, but clearer. Clarity does not erase fear, it organizes it. Your age no longer echoed as a question in their mind, but as a responsibility they were beginning to accept. They realized that avoiding the truth would slowly erode their integrity, and integrity matters deeply to them, especially now. They replayed moments with you, not searching for doubt, but confirming what they already know. They began to notice how effortlessly they pay attention when you speak, how your words seem to stay in their mind longer than anyone else's, and how your presence creates a surprising sense of calm and balance. These small realizations slowly grounded their emotions and gave them clarity about what they were feeling. Over time, they started to understand that tears were not a sign of collapse, but rather a natural form of emotional release that clears inner pressure instead of breaking a person apart. After such release comes something deeper and more decisive, and that shift has already begun forming within them, even if it has not yet been expressed in words. At one point, they imagined you discovering later that they had carried all these feelings silently, and that thought disturbed them more than any concern about timing, distance, or uncertainty ever could. It made them realize that silence does not protect anyone from confusion. It only postpones honesty and makes things heavier in the long run. They came to accept that real respect is not about presenting a flawless version of oneself, but about being seen with truth and intention. Even your age, instead of making them hesitant, pushed them toward being more deliberate and careful with their emotions and choices. It removed any comfort in hiding behind vague signals or unspoken assumptions. They now understand that whatever unfolds next must come from sincerity, clarity, and mutual awareness rather than impulse or confusion. This is not confusion driving them anymore, but alignment between what they feel internally and how they want to act externally. And when that alignment settles in, hesitation naturally loses its grip. These shifts are not accidents. They are the result of someone preparing themselves emotionally to be seen. Your person is rehearsing honesty internally, testing their courage in quiet moments, making sure that when they speak, their words will not waver. They are aware that once they acknowledge this connection openly, it cannot be taken lightly. Your age reinforces that awareness, reminding them that impact matters. They are choosing depth over convenience. That choice reshapes behavior before it ever reshapes conversations. If they seem calmer yet more intense at the same time, it is because they are carrying intention now, not confusion. What is most important for you to understand is this. Your person is no longer running from the weight of what they feel. They are learning how to carry it responsibly. The tears were the beginning, not the end. Crying cleared the path. Now comes action, measured, respectful, and deliberate. They are not planning a dramatic move. They are preparing for a truthful one. This means that when they do speak, it will come from a place of grounded certainty, not emotional chaos. Your age did not create distance. It created seriousness, and seriousness changes everything. When someone reaches this stage, they do not drift away. They step forward with intention. Let this final truth settle, because it defines what is coming next. Your person cried because your presence forced them to confront their own readiness. Now they are becoming ready. Readiness is quiet. It does not announce itself loudly. It shows itself through consistency, thoughtfulness, and the courage to choose clarity over comfort. Whatever unfolds from here will not be accidental. It will be the result of an internal decision already made. When someone cries about your age, then grows steady afterward, it means they are preparing to honor what they feel, not escape it. My beloved child, there comes a phase after clarity where emotions stop spiraling and begin organizing themselves into intention, and your person has entered that phase quietly but decisively. They are no longer asking themselves why this connection exists. They are asking what kind of person they must become to honor it. Your age continues to sit in their awareness, not as a limitation, but as a compass pointing toward responsibility. They have started imagining conversations not filled with fear, but with honesty, imagining moments where they speak without hiding behind humor or deflection. This shift matters more than any dramatic confession because it shows emotional maturity taking root. When someone reaches this point, they stop seeking validation from others and start seeking alignment with their own values. That alignment is what gives feelings direction instead of chaos. Your person is standing there now, grounded, thoughtful, and no longer willing to lie to themselves. Here is something they have not said to anyone, but it is shaping their next move. They realize that your age makes this connection feel meaningful rather than casual, intentional rather than accidental. It forces them to slow down and act with purpose, and strangely, that no longer feels like pressure. It feels right. They have begun accepting that some connections arrive to change us, not to entertain us, and this acceptance has softened their fear. They are no longer crying. They are reflecting. They are no longer overwhelmed. They are focused. When someone moves from emotional release into reflection, it means they are building the courage to communicate truthfully. Silence at this stage is not avoidance. It is preparation. They are choosing their words carefully because they want their truth to land gently, not recklessly. Now understand this clearly, because it explains the quiet intensity you may sense. Your person has stopped debating whether to stay emotionally distant. That option no longer satisfies them. They are moving toward clarity, gradually recognizing what already feels present between you. Their sense of time and experience has made them cautious about hesitation that leads nowhere, and they are becoming more aware of the weight of emotional responsibility. They are not drawn to unclear bonds or partial connections anymore, preferring steadiness and sincerity in what they choose. This shift creates a quieter but deeper presence in how they approach you, as though every interaction now carries more meaning than before. What is forming inside them is a growing resolve, the kind that usually comes before action rather than after reflection. They begin to imagine honesty more clearly, considering how it would feel to speak without hesitation and to acknowledge what matters without pulling back. There is also an emotional preparation taking place, a readiness to accept outcomes rather than remain suspended in uncertainty. They are learning that courage is not always loud, but often steady and quiet, shown through consistency rather than dramatic gestures. At this point, they are not stuck but settling into alignment between thought, feeling, and action. On the surface, things may appear calm, yet underneath there is focus and direction taking shape. What once felt emotional is now becoming structured intention, and this naturally influences how they see you moving forward. Their emotional reaction has shifted into responsibility, and what follows is a more grounded approach to the connection. This is less about fleeting feeling and more about transition into something deliberate and real. When someone moves from emotional overwhelm into steady clarity, it usually signals that their decisions are quietly taking form, and what follows tends to be expressed through consistent, honest